Hey Deadgrinners, this is Deadgrin, and I'm bringing you another update on my custom Dragon Stars Great Saiyaman. In the last video I talked about the cape, and I was trying to figure out, like what to do, what I could, how I can actually do this, because one of the struggles with the cloth cape that I made for him was that I couldn't keep it on, and I was originally maybe gonna try to put magnets in his chest, but I overused magnets with some of these customs, and I think it's unnecessary sometimes. There are other methods that I could use. So I follow this man called Craig Warrack, and he has his own YouTube channel, and he's an incredible customizer. He works mostly with Marvel Legends, but he'll explore other figures to make his customs. And two particular videos that stuck in my mind were when he did the Pennywise, the dancing clown figure, like for one of his Secret Santa projects, and recently he made a Kang the Conqueror Marvel Legends figure. And both times what he ended up doing was that he ended up taking some plastic and making a hole and placing it over the figure, and then he would sculpt using his milliput putty, which is also something that I use, which is basically a two-part epoxy with you mix both equal parts of both, and you have like an hour, like you got a good working time, like between, maybe I would say, like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on how often you're moving the actual mixture. But it gives you good enough time to shape it, and you could wait 24 hours for it to cure like 100%, or you can maybe speed it up with using like heat, like really hot water. If you leave it in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you let it air dry for about another 10 to 15 minutes, and then you completely dry it off yourself, you cut down the 24-hour curing process to an hour. I mean, like in half hour. That's pretty damn good. Well, anyways, so you place one of these and you sculpt it, and once it cures, you're able to remove it and it comes off. And I ended up making the top of the cape. I made this just actually today in the morning. I made it like around 2 o'clock in the morning. Anybody who follows me on Instagram, you saw the process of this. And then today making the update video for it real quick. So here's a cape. And it holds it down, and that's something that I needed. I needed like a weight. I've seen this with quite a few figures where they have like a hard top and then the cloth cape, or a plastic cape, depending on which kinds of figures they are. I saw somebody do a One Punch Man where it had a plastic top, and then they replaced the cape with a cloth cape that they wanted to add. And the DC figures, they make this version too, and I think personally that it came out great. I mean, I still gotta shape it properly, because this is just the way the one I'm showing you guys is basically just it dried and everything. I haven't sanded it, I haven't shaped it properly, like this still really rough edged, But and then I'm gonna probably add a little bit more, just because there was some stretch marks when it folded it over the actual shoulders, like right here. It's all cracked out, and it's very rough right here. But it gets the job done, man. Like it's very thin also, so which is why I want to add at least a little bit more epoxy, especially around the edges. Just I don't want it to break. But yeah, man, that was a great little thing that like I'm telling you guys, like it's great to see all avenues of customizers. Everybody has their own techniques, and if you watch, you keep learning, you keep tracking. You want to learn certain things, you have to find the information on how to do it. I've gone to websites where people could do customs. I've seen YouTube videos. I've seen people on Facebook, and I've asked them for their opinions. And you gather enough information from people, from friends, and you start adding those kinds of techniques to your own personal customs. Like I haven't seen anybody do this kind of custom for Dragon Ball figures at all, and if they haven't done it for SH Figure Arts or anything like that, I haven't seen them do it for Dragon Stars. Maybe there are people. I haven't. I'm not gonna say that nobody's done it. I'm just saying that I haven't seen it, and it's probably been done already though. But if you don't see it, always make every custom your own. And I think this is gonna probably make this custom that much, that much more different from everyone else who's done a Great Saiyaman. Because I've seen Great Saiyaman, no pun intended. I've seen excellent Great Saiyaman figures, especially in the SH Figure Arts. And the basic recipes would be the same thing that I did, which is a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan body, Goku, and then the arms and legs of probably a Trunks, just because it would be more in proportion than, say, a Vegeta. And then they use probably, I think, an Ultimate Gohan head. I'm using the Dragon Stars line, which is why I use the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and the Vegeta legs, because the Vegeta, surprisingly, in this line, he's really tall. Like, it's not in proportion, like he's not in scale correctly with the way they are in the anime, which I don't really mind, because in this case it worked out for the better. As far as the skirt goes, I did heat some styrene plastic, and I shaped it out to the skirt. And originally it was just one piece, but when I tried to put it on, I applied too much pressure and it snapped, like it broke. So that's another problem that I ran into with this. If I do make a styrene sheet longer skirt, it really limits the posing ability. And if I do go with this, I don't want it to be something where it gets in the way. I want something to be able to move freely whenever I, pose the figure. So I'm considering just leaving it that length, the length that it is, even though it looks kind of weird. Or I might end up doing the cloth one, just because the cloth one I can remove whenever I want, and it really wouldn't get in the way. It would properly cover him, and it would move around with the poses that I want to put him in. So I'm really still debating on that. I have to tackle the belt. It was probably going to be, the way I'm probably going to solve that is with using some styrene sheet, shape it to the belt, and then adding a circular styrene sheet and put it in depth, and then probably either using more milliput to cover the gold circle that goes in the middle, or possibly something else, something around that, because it's such a cool little detail that's obviously part of the Great Saiyaman outfit. And I know everybody wants to see him colored already green, and but when you're doing a custom, first you have to prepare the custom. You have to make sure that all the points of articulation aren't rubbing in a way where if you add paint, a layer of paint over it, it's gonna rub and it's gonna chip away at the paint that you already added. So that's one thing. And also the figures, when they come out straight out the box, they have sometimes this I don't know what it's called. It's like an oil that surrounds the figure. So anything you add over it, it risks the shipping away a lot easier, because it has that oil that was able to make it release from the molds when they were made at the warehouses. So you have to wash it and then sand the areas, and then you can start applying paints. And with all my other customs that I've made so far, on like I've rushed this part, and I don't want to rush it. I want this one to be absolutely perfect. So, before I start doing all the other stuff, that's what I'm doing. And then as far as the heads go, I already ordered the heads that I'm going to start using for the custom, so to make it recognizable as Gohan. So that's it, guys. This has been an update and some information drop. Not completely about this figure, but I'm gonna add links to Craig Warrack's videos to you, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And I'm also gonna put my social media, in the description. Like I said, follow me on Instagram. I mostly put all my updates as far as the work in progress kind of things. The stuff I'm not able to record, because at this point I still don't know how to properly record while I'm actually doing a custom, and then speed it up and edit it correctly. My time doesn't really allow me to do that, so I'm gonna have to do it like this for now, where I just record, update you, use my Instagram to actually show you the progress, the work in progress, and then Twitter, we interact more. I show maybe some of the progress, and I discuss some of my interests a lot more in Twitter. But yeah, all right, guys. Some of you guys might be seeing this in the morning, so good morning, and for everybody else, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.